Alright, I thought I'd do a quick video on oxygen absorbers this evening. Got a couple PMs about how to select the correct size of oxygen absorber when you're doing long-term food storage. And I thought I'd jot down some quick rules of thumb that I've come across and have worked well for me in the past. Starting with some common storage container sizes: pints, quarts, number 10 cans, 1 gallon containers, and 5 gallon containers. The key thing here is to know what the air volume of the container that you're storing food in is. And by volume, the units I'm going to use here are milliliters, which is equal to a cubic centimeter. Cubic centimeter is important because oxygen absorbers are rated in cubic centimeters, which is basically their capacity to absorb oxygen in cubic centimeters. So the volume of these individual containers in cubic centimeters, 100% volume, is 475, 950, 3300, 3800, and 19,000. Again, these are in cc's, and this is total capacity of the individual containers. The key number here, though, is what the capacity in of oxygen is in the containers, and to get that number, you multiply these volumes by 21%. Because that is the volume by proportion of the total of oxygen in the Earth's atmosphere, and so those are the numbers that we'll work from in determining what the proper size oxygen absorber is. So rounding off to the nearest whole hundred size, 21% of each of these values is 100 cc's, 200 cc's, 700 cc's, 800 cc's, and 4,000 cc's. And this column of numbers right here can be used as a good starting point on determining what the proper absorber size is. A lot of commercial companies that you'll see out there actually use the equivalent oxygen absorber size of the proportion of the oxygen in the container. But to save a little cost, you can go through a couple other rules of thumb. If you have very lightly packed goods, something like, let's say, potato flakes or onions or something like that, dried onions that might not pack very tightly, you can use the 50% rule. And then the other number that I use is the 33% rule. If you're short on oxygen absorbers, I usually use close to the 50% rule, if not a little bit more conservative, meaning a little bit higher rating on the oxygen absorbers. But you can basically see that 50% of each of these numbers is 50 cc, 100 cc, 350 cc, 400 cc, and 2000 cc. So again, this is for non-dense or airy foods, and this is for tightly packed. And I'll leave it to you guys to calculate what these proportions are. This is, again, the number that I normally use. So for a 5-gallon container, what you'd want to use is about 2,000 cc's of oxygen absorbers. I typically round up a little bit from there. I usually use around 3,000 cc's or so, so kind of splitting the difference between what the actual total oxygen of the empty container is and what it should be using lightly packed foods. And 5-gallon is my most common packing. I do also pack in number 10 cans, and you can see 350 cc's is kind of the sweet spot on those. So I'm not exactly sure what LDS recommends when you pack. I think they actually recommend that you use 200 cc's for a normal can, so a single oxygen absorber of 200 cc capacity, or two 100 cc capacity oxygen absorbers. But anyway, hopefully this helped. Just a quick overview of some of the rules of thumb that I use when I'm doing my long-term storage. Thanks for watching.